Peeps, I'm telling you, I need a book. I need some answers. Oh, I need some instructions on these villages, I tell ya. So many comments in the last video telling me to use the golden lasso. If only it was already written somewhere in the game, eh? Anyway, I'm over in B-Dubs' shop, and I'm not going to say it again, but it's gorgeous, this mod, isn't it? Oh, the things you can do with this mod. I love this building over here. Very inspiring. The interiors, man, this is a real case of just B-Dubs can see something and then make it come to life with this mod. Very cool, very inspiring. Not going to be working in the city of maybe today, though. Just this right here, though. Oh, it really looks like a 1920s shop. I love it. It's fantastic. But as I said, we're not going to be working in the city of maybe today. Oh, no. I've got ideas brewing around in my mind for another building, but we're actually here to use a golden lasso, and this is what I was talking about. I wish I had a book telling me what we could do in this game, because I rattled my poor little noggin, I did. I thought of all the things I could think of, and I forgot about the golden lasso. So the soul vial didn't work, the lead didn't work, and I think we tried one other thing as well. Turns out, check that out, we get the menu over here. I imagine pressing one of these now could cause a problem, but we can pick this fella up and we can set him back down, and I wish I had known that. However, it didn't take me too long to get these inhabitants over here. Let's make sure that you have set this place as your home. Now, these guys are cool. They were a little bit of an experiment, and mostly all they ever do is stand around in the same spot looking very static. I've had some comments suggesting I should perhaps put some doors somewhere in this area and try and create like a false village to get them moving around, but they just tend to stand still. They're kind of boring, man. They're kind of boring, and we've had no new customers. Sad face, Asuma. No new customers today. Well, that's okay, because we're not going to be in the city, and maybe we're actually going to go back to my base where I got something cool to show you. A new project. Well, kind of not a new project. Something to aim towards. Let's say that. We've got a new goal to aim towards in this game here at our base, and that is to generate, right, you're listening, I'm not lying, I'm not trolling you, unlimited power, people. Unlimited power. Power of the unlimited. That is the Rainbow Generator. Look at that name, that's incredible. When all other generators are creating power, taste the unlimited power of the rainbow. Now, I hope that is actually unlimited, not just like a placeholder for 1 million RF per tick or something. Unlimited power sounds amazing. You have to make 2 halves like this, and those ones are made out of all the other generators in the game. So I think that's 16 that you need to craft. I didn't count them all. Maybe there's 16, maybe there's a little bit more in total, but these generators right here, we're already using some of them, aren't we? So we've done, or we have running, the slime power. We also have the magmatic running as well, so that's slime and lava, and we've done a little bit of the death generator, which requires stuff like rotted flesh, and then it consumed all of it. Now all we have to do is have them generating, so we don't need to put upgrades in, we don't need more than one, we just need it to always be generating something. And so that means if we've got a farm feeding these generators the right items, should be pretty reasonable to get all of these going. So this one requires, you know, some simple stuff. We could just make a carrot farm with some bone meal. That'll be nice and easy. Disenchantment might be more challenging. You see, it needs enchanted items, I believe, and it consumes them. Who knows? I need to investigate a little bit more. The Ender Generator we can get from Ender Pearls. Explosive, we will need some TNT for this one, I believe, unless it takes just gunpowder. If it needs TNT, we'll need to make a sand farm. Frosty is going to be really challenging. I think this requires ice, packed ice, or snowballs, and that might be a little bit tricky to automate, but this provides loads of challenges for us, which is really cool. So, halitosis, this one right here, we can make a chorus farm, which would be really fun to do in modded. Have not tried that before. We've got a redstone one, Never Star, overclocks. No idea what this one uses at all. I'll have to look into that. As I say it out loud, actually, it might take clocks, like you literally craft a clock. And anyway, pink generator. I'm pretty sure there's a flower we can give bone meal to make pink, or we could use our pink dye. Potion, get an automatic brewing setup going. So these things, like, they're all their own little projects, but overall they sound pretty reasonable, right? So one of the things we would need to get this working is, and look at that, like when I look out here, sometimes that one, oh, it's actually just when I focus on that one, storage stays there. When I focus on this one, it disappears. I find that weird. But anyway, we've got a mob farm, and we need this thing to be running around the clock if we want to make sure that all these generators are always running. and, well, not all of them, but the ones that rely on this stuff, and then our rainbow power can run unlimited. The problem here is that around the clock we have a bunch of entities here. They're getting damaged, they're getting discombobulated, their parts are on the ground, there are loads of drops everywhere going into our system, being sucked up by vacuum hoppers. I believe some of those Endermen end up teleporting away into the world. It's kind of intensive on the server. It's a great starter farm and it was a lot of fun to set up, but I think it's time for this thing to go, because if we want it to run around the clock so we can keep those generators running, we need a new type of farm. Okay, and what we're going to be using is a farm known as Woot. The idea of this farm is to literally solve our problem where you've got mob farms on a server, the bigger they get, the more laggy they become, and so this is going to be a multi-block structure which generates those drops out of nothing. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Asuma, that's no fun, that's super cheaty. Oh, you place down a block and now you get loads of stuff for it. Well, kind of agree. However, we've built the traditional mob farm and now it's going to be a pain in the butt for other people playing on the server as it's going to affect the performance. So I think we've got a good reason to actually go ahead with this one. So it comes with a book. The book is kind of dark and a little bit boring, and so we're not going to sit here and read that. I've kind of gone over the basics and I've been super smart and I've created crafting recipes for a lot of this stuff that you see on the side of the screen. If we go into here and type in @woot, you can see that we can craft all of these things. I actually want to grab that one straight away. It requires a whole bunch of stuff, and there's a lot of stuff there to talk about as well. There it is. Bam. We're going to take that thing. We're going to pop down below, because just down here I've set up a bunch of crafters. So this is how we have all of those things already in the system. Just made a load of patterns, and it means crafting this stuff is going to be nice and easy. When it comes to the resources it uses, I'm pretty sure we've got everything here by the boatload. So it's just a case of figuring out how the crafting here works. So you need a Yar hammer for a lot of the recipes, and I did a little test. When you use it, it doesn't have a durability meter, so you only need one. I've put in 8 because we may end up crafting a lot of stuff at the same time. And the same goes for these dyes over here as well. You actually get that back after you craft something, so we may only need one of each. What I'm probably going to do is make like 3 or 4 of each, because they're currently patterns, which means if we ask the game to craft a load of stuff, it might also craft loads of those, not realizing that we get them back. There's a couple of other little nuances here as well, but I don't really want to go into it too much. You can see over here we've got some under iron, actually smelted up a little bit more of that as well. That's the only thing that isn't really automated at the moment, because in order to make the pulverized stuff you need to run it through a crafting recipe. So we're kind of good to go at this point. That's how the crafting bit's going to work, so we don't need to talk about it too much because it's not going to be a grind. Now this is going to use like a 5x5 area. We will of course go underground and find a little spot for it to go. I might actually put it directly under this area. But if we place this thing down, it's going to show us all of the blocks that we need to create this farm straight away. So I can look at that, figure out what it is that we need, and then we can go craft them and place them down in the world. If I right click on this thing, it gets a little bit bigger, right? And that's because we're making a tier 2 one now. Well, what about a tier 3, I say? Look at that. Loads more blocks. I'm sure it's very expensive. We got loads of materials. And we go all the way up to a tier 4. That's what I want to do. I want to build that one right there. I want to go all out and build the biggest one that you can build. Now, just so I'm not a dummy, let's click on it one more time. Yeah, tier 4 is the biggest, okay? So let's find a room where we can place that down and start building this thing. I'm making a mess, I tell you, with this vein miner just ripping out some area for us to build in. We're actually at the bottom of a ravine, and what I'm probably going to do is just build over the top area in this little area where our farm is going to go. And I love that we can see exactly where it is that it's going to be. It makes planning this thing so much easier, and we're going to build a very basic kind of room around it, but we will pick some nice textures and make it look a little bit interesting in the least, right? But the way that I've laid this room out is I've put the teleporter to it in the corner, which is something I wouldn't usually do. Knowing me, I'd make it like an entrance to the middle of the room. I thought, why don't we put this on the corner for once? And also, you'll notice how this is nested into the ground a little bit. That's something that we're going to do. We're going to have like a walkway around the outside, and this is just going to drop into the center a little bit. So there's this 3 wide gap on the outside. We'll probably put down grass or something like that. Then we can build up some walls around the outside. All simple stuff. So now what we can start doing is crafting these blocks, like I said I would a moment ago. Oh yeah, one last thing. This is perfectly positioned to be exactly between 2 other things that I can't I can only see the one in the middle. I can't see the ones on the side. Let's go to the top. Okay, so that is there. Then we have that. Okay, these are perfectly positioned. It's like they're on a grid, right? So when we add something else, we'll put it in that corner. And that one I think is actually just a little bit further away. But it's very nice to just stand here and sort of swing around one at a time and have all of these things to go to. If you're thinking this looks a little bit bigger than it was a moment ago, you're absolutely right. Gave it some more space around the outside and then built this thing, which took no time at all. We have no shortages of materials, so it was all straightforward. And I believe down here is where the power source is supposed to go, and me clicking through that apparent gap is not actually a thing, is it? No, there's not actually a gap there. That might make this kind of awkward. We're going to have to break this block to put this in here. This is going to be our power source, and it's probably configured, yep, to do something that we don't actually want it to do. There should be, aha, a Woot power supply over here, which I set up a moment ago. So, this thing is now receiving power. This is where the power is stored in this block, I believe. And unprogrammed mob controller. We need to program our mob controller right now. The way that we do that is one of these mob prismarines, okay? We use this to capture a mob, or, well, you sort of slap it in the face, and then it gets its DNA, or something along those lines. Let's quickly go down to the power situation, though. I added this over here. You can see there is a giant sign saying Woot. I think actually I might change the size of the font there. It looks a little bit silly, but it's now got its own channel. And apparently it's using 1 RF per tick, because the other 20 are for the dimensional transceivers. But we have gajillions of power stored up here for us to use. And by the way, I did a voting thing, didn't I? For the ceiling and the middle one with 6,500 votes. And that was a large majority, something like 80% or something crazy. So I'll come back here and sort that out later. But that's the power situation sorted out for our mob farm. What we're going to do right now is conduct an experiment, and I want to go outside of this biome to conduct it. But I believe probably wherever we go, unless I take a long journey somewhere else, we're going to run into a little bit of a problem. I want to make a snow golem, and in a lot of biomes in this game, that golem will die. Maybe in the crag biome over here it will be okay. The reason I want to make that is because we got that frosty generator. I still haven't looked into what it actually generates, so, or needs to generate. So I might be wasting my time here, but the idea is that you give this thing a little slap, bam, and we programmed it. We also killed it at the same time, so we can spawn snowmen inside of this thing. Now I know you're not excited to hear that, because that's the least exciting mob to put in a mob farm ever, right? But we'll try it, because if we can put that thing inside of it, then it will give us the power we need for our frosty generator, if the frosty generator works with snowballs. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Right, and we need our night vision back. Hello. Thank you very much. I click on this thing with that. Kaboom! It's now been configured to a snow golem. It says at the top it only requires a tier 1, but luckily this thing's got tier 4. The other thing we need to do is slap a chest around the back here. Bam! And I believe that is the place that it outputs these things. Oh, the blocks all just got bigger. Does that mean it's running? Is it doing a thing? It's charging up. It's charging up, and it's running at 336 RF per tick. Now, if we were to go back to the power station, it would look like a lot more, because this thing is charging up at the moment. So, sneak for installed upgrades and learned drops. No upgrades installed. Huh. Okay. Have I got anything yet? Is there something else I'm supposed to do? I don't know now. I haven't really learned much more than this. If you left a comment saying, Asuma, you're an idiot, I would pat yourself on the back right now, because you're absolutely right. I'm the worst at this game sometimes, I swear. So, of course, the snow golem doesn't actually drop anything. You use it to farm snow with a shovel, and yeah, I was just not really thinking about it directly. Here's the cool thing, though. We can take this mob controller, and I don't know if we can, like, turn it back into... Actually, I think if you do that, yes, you get it back unconfigured. But it can store that information on its block. We don't need that. But then we could have another one and swap it over, which is maybe something we could do with like a contraption to swap these around. Because I've been reading the manual and I realised that this only ever does one mob at a time. Which kind of sucks, man. I got the impression this thing was for farming all the mobs. And yeah, there's all the pages in the book. So what we're going to farm is, is there something in my inventory that's giving you a little bit of a hint right now? we're gonna farm withers, because I think the Nether Star generator would be a pretty cool one to get up and running. So currently this thing is doing nothing because it's unconfigured, so we need to spawn a wither and then we need to hit it, which could have some grave consequences. So I need to prepare myself, don't I? There you are. It's always hard to see those ones. I should have really given them a name by now. What we're going to do is actually go over here, yes, and check out our Loopback Generator. Now, I was over here a moment ago, and check it out. We are actually into backed up territory right now. This chest over the back here is full up, and I think these things, yep, they're all full up as well, so we should see that one starting to stockpile a little bit. It's got 20 bags over at the moment, so we really need to get on exporting some of these things back into our system, don't we? But anyway, we're here to check out the inventory pets, because some of these are going to be very useful for us. I've gathered some glowstone and some soul sand. If we take along the... Where's the wither one? Oh, we've got some more up here. Immune to wither effect. And what is lifesteal? That's like when you hit them, you take some health. That's pretty cool. I want that one. And we're going to have that one. In fact, these all need to be on my hotbar, don't they? So let's make some room. The other one is the pufferfish, which requires glowstone. It's poisonous. Does that poison my enemies or does it poison me? I hope it doesn't poison me. That would be very bad. We need all of these things on our hotbar then, and we got some golden apples in case we get into a bit of a bad situation. I'm going to take one of those before we start this actually. So the outpost is not where I wanted to go. The last time we fought the wither, it was over here. I think we'll go to the same spot again and we'll just position it a little further away from our base. Maybe just right where this water is. Okay, so fingers crossed that nothing terrible happens when I whack it with our mob prism, because apparently there might be some sort of... We've got an army inbound on us. Where'd these guys come from? Jeez, there's another one over there. What's he doing? He's just hanging out. He's just looking at us from a distance. Whatever. That's my pick. I don't want to get rid of that. We want these wither skulls. Okay, and we're going to slap you in the face, Mr. Wither, once you've spawned properly. I'm going to drink. I'm going to eat this golden apple. By the way, we already have loads of effects because of all this and that. I also don't have a bow on me, which won't be a problem because we've got flight. Okay, so straight away he's angry. He's going after the creeper. He doesn't like creepers. Right, you've been given a whack, and now you're flying up into the sky. Is that the crazy effect that we were warned about? It's doing considerable damage to me. This thing's going up fast. Yeah, I am actually taking a fair amount of damage right now. Those inventory pets are helping us big time. This is a strange fight, isn't it? It's just going up. Soon I won't be able to see it if it keeps going up at this rate. There he goes. It's coming down now. Okay, we're going to keep whacking you with my thing, which might break soon. I didn't think about that, did I? Please don't break on me now. We're doing fine for health. I keep looking at it. We're good. We got this, man. We got this. Get out of here, you sucker. You crazy flying up in the sky wither. There we go, Nether Star, but the main thing is that this thing has been configured. It requires a tier 4 spawner, which we happen to have. And if we go all the way down here, how much destruction did that thing do? Yeah, look, you can see... Oh, we're picking the blocks up now. Well, we're mining some sands, that's good. Oh, it looks like it didn't do very much at all. And our base was too far away, probably. Right, so we're all good. Let's go and put that thing into that other thing. You know what I'm talking about, the Woot thing. So, if we just click on that, the mob controller, there we go. It's now doing the wither. Do I have any items yet? I want some items. It's going to spawn one every 320 ticks. So does that mean I get a Nether Star every 320 ticks? I'm just going to stand here and wait and see what happens. Now, if you patted yourself on the back earlier, you got to unpat yourself, okay? Assumer is a genius. I was just trolling you all along. I knew that chest needed to go there and not in this spot. Check it out, it does actually make snowballs, and these are from the wither. Oh my goodness me, I forgot about this. I forgot about this entirely. xisumavoid loot bag. I've just had a noise in my ear. Jeez, I love it. And we got a good times of scar from our genuine kill of the wither. So, I'm going to swap this one back now that you've seen that we can farm these as well. But how cool is that? We can get snowballs automatically farmed down here relatively cheap, I would say. Relatively cheap. So, let's open up the good times of scar bag, which we actually got from killing the wither ourselves. Leaves dirt, a jelly wither cat. Cool. And a wheelbarrow. Oh, that's adorable. I love that. I think you get the same things every single time. And this means we've got even more loot bags to process in our little loot bag factory now as well. So what do I get? Bananas in chat, people. Bananas in chat. A cup of tea. Oh, I do like a cup of tea. A jukebox record to play my favourite records on. And Spruce Willis. Oh, who remembers Spruce Willis? Hey, that's actually better than the axe that I've got that I currently use to chop things down. So you're going to go right in there, my friend. See you later, Diamond Axe. And yes, I have started work on this room. I looked at the laboratory block and thought about maybe bringing this into the build theme, but it's going to be a massive contrast to the grass and the cobblestone stone stuff that we've gone for over here. So I thought I'd put it down the bottom as a lighting block. And check this out, the painted glowstone connects with the regular block. Probably learned that one before, but I'm impressed by that. I'm very impressed. Let's go and pick all these blocks up quickly. So we're not going to use that down here, but I do want to have a light source underneath this farm. So we're going to have a very simple build theme down here. You can see we've borrowed the style from the other room, and then what we're going to do is just bring these walls up and let them disappear into the stone, and then on top of the stone we've already got here we'll have loads of leaves dropping down, and then that way I think it'll look really cool and overgrown. This thing is looking awesome. Down there we've got some congealed slime which is emitting light, and apparently it's capturing a bunch of mobs as well. Please don't shoot those creepers, that might end up blowing up the farm. Anyway, you'll notice that the grass hasn't spread, and I was scratching my head as to how this could have happened. Then I realised the light levels. That's why there's mobs spawning down here, because while I'm working on it, they're always pestering me. But anyway, you can see we put a dimensional transceiver over here, so all of our drops are going into the system, which means we should have a reasonable amount of nether stars to look at here. How many have we got? 464. Not a crazy amount. I also want to type in loot like that, just to check that all the loot bags are going through, as I've now sent them over to our little area down here. So check it out. Loads more of them on the wall. They look really cool. And no, wait, I opened my one earlier, didn't I? Yes. We'll open everyone else's like bit by bit, but what I've realized is that you get the same thing every single time, right? So once you've opened one, you don't really need to open the others unless it's got something that you want in. So these are just going to build up down here, and you can see we've got quite a few of them so far. But there is one other one I want to open, is this one, the Dev Team loot bag, which seems to be possibly the rarest of them all, as we've only got 7, and the other ones we've got like 10 here. We've had 2 more of those, of course. So let's open this one up. I'm curious to know what's inside of it. And is it going to let me? Oh, there we go. That time it let me. So, ooh, hello. What are these? Oh, they're ghosts. Ah, this gives me an idea. We should build like a little cage somewhere and put them inside of it. That is a great... I've got to think about where that could be. But that is a great idea. I don't have any ideas right now. I'll tell you what, leave a comment down below if you've got an idea for where we could build a little cage and put some devs inside of it. You know what I mean? Anyway, standing here, we can't see the Woot room anymore. This is driving me mad, I tell you. I keep changing it around, and it don't like what I'm doing here, because I've covered up the roof. I've filled in the area above the ravine, and I think what the travel anchor needs is like an air block path to the location to see it. However, there is one of those paths, you see. I can go through here, and when we stand on the travel anchor this side, we can see those up there. It's really quite infuriating. Now, I've got the night vision on, so if we do that, you can see nice creepy cave. I guess for now, what I'm going to have to do is probably just poke a hole over here, and it should work as it did a moment ago. So let's give it a try. We go to the top. Nope, we can't see it again. Well, that is just being mean, if you ask me. Anyway, you see what I've been up to. I've been filling in the top area with stone, and the next step for us... Oh, hello, lag. The next step for us now is to put in the leaves, and I've decided to go with the spruce and redwood leaves, which I think will look pretty cool. Right, so we'll just throw in large clumps of these around the place and see what we think of them. Looking alright. The redwoods are going to look slightly different. Ooh, we've got to mix those up carefully. That does actually look alright. I think that one's affected by the biome. And something is shooting me. Why did you have to spawn in my farm? I tell you, it's a mob farm, but you're not supposed to actually spawn in it. Jeez. So over here, how would it look if we had, I don't know, like, I don't really want to... Well, actually, we could tangle it over like that, and then this bit can go up there. We should wrap them round each other often, right? Looks okay, looks okay. Well, anyway, I'm not going to have the time to finish this today. We will probably do this on a live stream or something. Come around, farm all the blocks, then put them all into place, you know. and get all of that looking nice and fancy. What we're going to do right now... Oh, you are a different colour here. Probably something to do with the ravine. Yeah, and then it starts to change colour. Fascinating. Fascinating. And let's take that guy away again for a second. It's going to look real cool. We're going to have to put some light sources in the ceiling, I reckon, because some of these will just be dripping down straight off of the ceiling. It's going to look so good when it's done. But anyway, I've realised there's a few more things we needed to do with the Woot mods. We can actually make upgrades for our farm to make it run even faster, which is just insane because we've already got a gazillion amount of nether stars. I say gazillion, it's more like 800 I think at the moment, and I pumped them into an ender chest. So if we go down to the bottom of our base, I figured that at some point we're probably going to start using more power than we're generating, although the changes I made to the power system are seemingly reliable. This thing always has tons of energy. But what we could do is throw down a nether star generator somewhere around here and just plug that into the system. So this cable here is kind of like my master cable. It connects our big battery there to all of the smaller batteries, which are like buffers for the dimensional transceivers, which tell us where all of the energy goes. So somewhere around here, I'm just going to plop this thing down. I can connect it if I want to, and I've made an ender chest. So this ender chest has loads of nether stars in. Kind of feels like less than what it told me I had a moment ago, but whatever. And in here, I've set this thing to nether active, although I just got a couple of them into here. And look, it's given me the wither effect, although I'm sort of not taking damage yet. So there is a side effect to using this, and I thought we'd just get that thing up and running. In fact, I'm going to hold on to those for now because they are valuable. And yeah, we could plug it into this system like that. However, this thing will eventually have its own room. So on our journey to getting all of these set up, if we somehow manage to consume more power than we're producing, we've got a little something like this going on over here. The place we would actually go and put that, though, I've made a little room for it. And where's my food? It's the Baconator. I decided to use the Baconator. I don't think I mentioned that. And it always catches me out because I look for food and I go, nope, the fish is for the ocelot. And where's my food? That's right, it's a Baconator. So going up to the top and annoyingly getting damaged, there's a rainbow room over here, but nothing inside of it yet. If we go back up here, once again, it is aligned to this grid. We can't see that one, but I love that, and then that one is just somewhere else, which is kind of disappointing, but I like the way they line up. Alright, we're not done just yet. We got to make some upgrades for our Woot farm, which I still can't get over there too. Anyway, in my inventory you see a whole bunch of stuff that we need to do this. So I've made a mass upgrade which spawns more mobs at once at a price of RF per tick, and something that I've learned is that you have to actually put all three of these down in order to get the top upgrade, because they're blocks that you put inside the Woot farm. So I got a feeling that the price of this might also stack as well. So we'll craft everything today, and then we'll do what we can with the amount of RF coming into the system, although it does return this, which we can put in that nether star generator. So we'll see where we can get with it. Now, crafting it is a little bit tedious. What I've got to do is come over here, and one by one I've got to make up a whole bunch of books. So I chuck these into here, and efficiency 5, no, we don't need anywhere near that. The first one that I'll need is efficiency 1, which we can make. And I'll need 3 of those. I'll need 3 efficiency 2 books, and then 3 efficiency 3 books as well. And you do that for all the different ones that you need to make the upgrades over here. Now, luckily, we got tons upon tons of XP stored over here, so that's going to be nice and easy. And the ones that we're going to make are this one right here, the rate upgrade. Spawns mobs every 160 ticks. So we're going to make all 3 of those, and that's why we've got these different items, because they make the enchantments that we need for this. We're also going to go with looting as well, so we're already increasing the amount we get at once, then we're increasing the rate at which it spawns them, then we're going to apply looting to get more drops, and I think that's all of them with exception to one, which is going to make it more efficient. Oh, that one what we're looking at, efficiency upgrade. So I've got an absolute ton of crafting to do right now, and it's going to take me a world of time, but we'll get there, and we'll get these upgrades installed. This room looks spooky, and I like it. If we get the light levels right on the floor, I love the kind of ambience this room has, and it's lit up a bit better thanks to these torches, actually. So going here into the center, it feels like a mysterious temple, doesn't it? The way we're going to lay these out is, I believe, just by putting this here. And then the efficiency has been upgraded. Do you know what would have been really smart? To check how much RF we were using before. So, 320. Wasn't it 360? So now we put down the tier 2 above it. And, oops. We'll take that one back and I'll look at this thing again. Nah, it still says 320 actually. The other one said 840. So there goes the third tier. 320, and then the other bit has gone down to 784. So maybe that was the number that was changing. Anyway, all of that is about to go up now. So I'm thinking, which one of these do I want to go for? Considering we're doing one mob at a time, this thing seems like the biggest increase in efficiency. Like we'll go all the way up to 8 more. So again, we are at 3. Oh, it's going to be hard to look at that thing now, because that's what we need to look at to see it, right? I think the other way would be to go underneath. No, there's a dimensional transceiver here. Huh. I'm going to remove this thing for a moment so we can look at the front of it and see what's going on here. So, we should see something go up by 80 ticks. And it's the cost thing, so the spawn for mobs stays the same. Right, let's do another one. That seems to go up a lot more than I thought it would. So 1820, and this one is 240. So that should put it just over 2000. Oops. What one did we place at the top also? I didn't place the right thing. Okay, so looking at this, just over 2000. That's more than just over. I'm not sure what to make of that, but the most that we can give this thing, I believe, is 2000 RF per tick. And we should see our loot bags and our nether stars coming through much more frequently, which is going to be kind of hard to measure actually, because you never see the items when they're in that place. So down here it's outputting at 2000 RF per tick. It's only inputting at 1.3. That's kind of bizarre. That's not what I expected to see. How is this big battery over here doing then? Because it should be able to get all of the energy. And that one's positive 3000 or positive 2000. Little bit suspicious, little bit suspicious. The bandwidth for these things are 5000 RF per tick, so it should be able to get the one at the end here what it needs, but it's slowly going down. I guess other things are sucking RF, but from how I understand how this works is, maybe it's this right here. Like it has a maximum of 5000 at this point, so it can only ever give 5000 between all of these. You know, I kind of knew this already, but I never really thought about it too much. Of course, the extract here is going to be capped at 5000 RF per tick. So now that should be able to supply this. There you go, with all of its needs. And now it's going to, you know, back into the positive to fill that up, which might mean we see a negative number over here. But no, that one is still positive as well. So that's a very good sign. I think I'm going to up the bandwidth here to like 20,000, although it's 25 because there's a connection there as well. Look at that, the number is much larger now. Surprisingly, it's over 5,000, which would be the limit of the conduit, right? This thing is slowly charging up, and now it's sending more power through because we changed this type. It used to be just a basic capacitor bank, and now it is a large capacity bank. So we can send even more power over to the Woot farm. So I'm going to skip round to the front again and just check on the big battery. This is our way of making sure everything's okay, and it's coming close now, so I think we'll leave it at that and we'll see how the system does. We're now going to get tons and tons of nether stars. Let me show you where they go to, by the way. Well, actually, you kind of know where they go to, an ender chest, but I want to see how many we have now because they're coming in a lot faster. And look at that, you saw the number ticking up there, right? Plus we've got these ones as well. Soon that ender chest will be full, and then it means they can start to back up inside of our refined storage system. So all of that right there will basically be a buffer, if you like. But anyway, you probably guessed it, that's going to be it from us this episode of FoolCraft. I do hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, leave a like on the video. Thank you as always ever so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye bye.